Hi everyone, I am Lady Stars and Fire. My real name is Michelle Espinosa, and this is the weekly healing messages for January 29th through to February 5th. So, there is a lot going on this week. And, pretty much if you can think it up, it's probably going to be coming in this week in any way, shape, or form, or at least some way, shape, or form. But before I go into the healing messages like I normally do, I'm not doing astrology, not in this video. However, everything I'm going to be talking about in this video will be backing up what you're going to be seeing in astrology. So there will be 2 videos again. And that's simply because I have so much information coming from Spirit. There's just no way. So this is the Spirit guidance and the rune cast for the 29th through the February 5th. Let me just start off because I have no idea. I can't connect this. I don't understand why. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be validation for somebody, but it's been being said to me for the last 2 days, and it doesn't go with anything else, really, that I'm being given, other than maybe I'm supposed to be saying it as validation. I just know I'm supposed to be putting it in there. I have no idea, none whatsoever, of what the cartoon character Fat Albert has to do with this week, but I just keep getting, hey, hey, hey. I just keep getting that all over again, hey, hey, hey. And like in Fat Albert's voice. So I don't know why, but I'm getting that one out of the way because I don't understand it. Maybe I will later in the week. I don't know. I just know to give you what I'm being told. Now, before I go into the rest of this week, I'm going to start off by backing up just a tiny bit. Last week, if you watched the video. Now, I typically will just give you whatever it is they give me in the best way of what it is that they give me, Spirit information, so that you can incorporate it into your life and figure out what it meant for you within your life. And last week, I went on 2 videos as well, and I was being given the horned god known as Pan. Well, he is still here this week. However, he's not stomping his hooves and right up close anymore. He's kind of stepped back. He was having a very big conversation, and he still is, with Gaia and the Tree of Life. And I'm being shown that he's still here. And he reminds us that, again, that confidence and that cocky energy, in sense, comes from him and the ability to stand strong in your hooves, basically, and let your shit flap in the wind, according to the way Pan puts it. It takes confidence, and strengthen your own personal power to be able to stand there and do that and come into who you are, but also know when you're standing in ego and versus soulfulness, is what Pan says. He's a creator God, and last week he said that he will give you exactly what it is you are asking for, what it is you're searching for. And if you're stuck in all of your drama, if you're stuck in all of your worry and your doubt and your fear, hey, I'll give you more of it. It's about a learning curve. He will give you exactly what you're asking for, is what he's saying. Now, I went back to that because that makes sense as we come into this week. But before I go into all of the information, because I have several gods stepping forward, including Jesus, stepping forward this week, bringing information. And I'm going to go through them all. But before I get there, since I said Pan was having a conversation with Gaia last week and the Tree of Life, the Tree of Life shows me itself. And you know how they show the roots at the bottom, then the trunk, and then the branches at the top, and technically when you flip it over it would look somewhat the same. Basically is the way the symbol of the Tree of Life looks, as above so below. Well, they're showing it like connected, the above and the below connected, and kind of just intertwining in circles over and over again. So the Tree of Life is resurrecting, rebirthing, circling forever. This is what I'm being shown, and it makes sense because it goes with Embulk. I can never pronounce that holiday properly. Embulk. It will go with that as we get into that time, but it makes sense that it would show me that. And then I'm also shown, because many of you who follow me know that I have a tree outside that seems to be maturing many, many faces on it. And it brought me to my attention right before I made the video when I was having my hot cocoa. Because, you know, sometimes you just need hot cocoa to get you through the day. Got to add that sweetness in. Anyway, I was having my hot cocoa when the tree was bringing itself to my attention on a spiritual level as well as physical. And it's making me look at it, and it's showing me that it appears this would be a shamanic information. So I have to leave that up for you to figure out what it means for you. But the tree is showing me I look like I'm still. I look like I'm not moving. And this will go with the runes as well. I look like I'm just here. Basically planted in the ground. I'm a tree. Like I'm not really breathing. I'm not really living. I look like I'm just there. However, if you look closer, stop, look closer, stop, look closer. The tree shows me there's like 2 single branches that are swaying. I'm not as still as you think I am. I'm not moving. I am doing something. Basically. And what it shows me as I'm zoning in on that is I see the energy around it basically like echoing and changing and moving, but this tree is still. All but those few branches that are just kind of swaying. And I'll allow you to figure out what that means for you yourself. Now, the rune cast, because I don't want to run out of time. The rune cast this week, I already did post it on Facebook. But you can always catch it on my website, and you can catch it on like Twitter and every place else. But the rune cast this week is Isa, and it is Dagaz, and it is on Seuss. And on Seuss is coming because of the move of Mercury, which will be going on with astrology. It's speaking to us of using those words, using our magical incantations properly. Words have power, and depending on how you use them, you can heal, you can hurt, you can create, you can destroy. They're telling you make sure you're using those words properly. Or also it speaks to us of our inspiration, our communication, our education, our knowledge. It speaks to us of our intellectual gifts, our exchange of views. And it speaks to us of using, you know, the words that we get like from poetry and from music. Find your songs, the words that help bring the healing through this week, because this is a powerful week with a lot of drama. I'm warning you, it's going to have a lot of drama in it, and I'll be back for that in a minute. Let me get back to the rune cast. Then, because those are shown separately. On Seuss is shown like as its own information for the week. Then I am given Isa, and I am given Dagaz. Isa speaks to us of ice, water, ego. It speaks to us of retreating, but not exactly separating. It speaks to us of controlling our own self-mastery. It's stillness. There goes your tree of life speaking to you. It speaks to us of both detachment and consideration at the same time. It speaks to us of the power of concentration and where that will take us. It is the challenge. It is a challenging and frustrating time to go inward for the necessary stasis of what will be needed. Then you have Dagaz, which speaks to us of day, dawn, twilight. It speaks to us of awakening, enlightening, and realization. It is the sudden or unexpected shift in consciousness. It speaks to us of the complete change being made and the balance of the realization due to that, the breakthrough. It is our inner space connecting with our outer space. It is mastery of appearance and power of the visibility, completion also of cycles. Dagaz also has a way of being a little bit trickery when it works, because it's also associated with the god known as Loki. Now that I've made it through the runes, so that I didn't miss them on the videos, I'm being told you are exactly where it is that you need to be right now in your life. However, you are exactly where it is you need to be due to or according to the free will choices that you chose to make within your life. Free will. She's a glorious bitch, basically. And with that, also brings in us to the cause and effect energy, the threefold energy, and the energy of Ceres, which will go with the astrology. Now, with all of that being said, when I first made the my notes for this, I wrote them one direction, leading from one to the other end, and then I was told, no, you wrote it backwards, so I have to start the opposite way. I always tell everybody it is not my right to tell you what religion, what faith to follow. It's all about finding how to get our healing spiritual self into the right direction. And how it is you get there is not my business. But helping us to get there is what I am supposed to be doing. Finding that healing way of helping us work through it. So therefore, I don't choose to point out that you should be, Catholic, or that you should be still following Celtic or Egyptian or whatever kind of ways. However, I bring in the information that I get from the upper and lower world and the spirit itself. And with that being said, I'm going to start off with the fact I am being shown Jesus. And Jesus brings to my attention, because he's visiting me, and what he's starting off with is the image that we always see of the pictures of Jesus when he has the crown of thorns on his head. And I'm being shown thorns over and over again. So we're speaking of this time frame. Now, don't get me wrong. We're not speaking about once the resurrection has happened. We're speaking about the time frame of him wearing the crown of thorns, of them, of in that time and in the story of Jesus, how they're going, oh, hail the King of the Jews. They're mocking him prior to the crucifixion. And he's reminding us, even he was crucified. Everyone will have their time of being mocked. Everyone will have their time where they feel they are being crucified, or where others will feel like they are out to crucify someone else. Does not make it right or wrong. He's saying all of us are subject to this pain. We all feel this. He himself had to wear the crown of thorns. And remember that in the story that the people chose to crucify him while they let a murderer go free. This is what I'm being told. I'm also being shown, like I said, thorns again and again and again. But I'm being reminded, everybody wants the roses. But you can't have a rose without a thorn. It's just not so. You cannot have a rose without a thorn. So in order to get to the roses, you must beware of the thorns. But the crown of the thorns that Jesus wears speaks to us also of when, right before he died, where he says, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Because he's also speaking to us of the resurrection that will come. He's also speaking to the pain of what he's undergoing, and being humble still enough to be who and what he was, to never back down from who and what he was, who and what he knew was true. And that takes a lot of energy, a lot of self-power, a lot of self-truth to be able to stand in that power, even when you know you're about to be crucified, even when you know you are in pain and that bad things would be coming your way, but to know that the resurrection was going to be coming. To know that, like I said, forgive them, for they know not what they do, is the key here to the crown. A lot can happen in 3 days. This week, we have the solar eclipse. We have the new lunar eclipse taking place in Leo with the full moon on Wednesday, the middle of the week. Okay. Then you have the holiday I can never pronounce it right. The holiday of, I always want to say embolic, but there's not the I. Embolc is there. This is also known as the Saint Bridget for like the Celtics, the Druids, and on that side of the world is where it was mainly known. But this time is speaking to us of the promise of the return of spring, Mother Earth awakening, a promise that she's going to awake and that the warmth is coming back. The sun is coming back. The shine is coming back. It's also the second month. The second day of the month will be in this week, and we're in a number 2 year, which brings us to 222. This is speaking to us of, like I said, 2018 equals down to a number 2 year, which is all about harmony and balance. Well, the only way you can create harmony and balance is by finding where harmony and balance is lacking so that you can have a strong stance within harmony and balance. You must first see where it's missing. You must first get to the ego, the root of that, and then then figure out how to heal it, how to solve it, how to fix it. This is what we're doing right now. We have 2, which is the year. You have the month February starting this month, which is 2. And then you have the second day, 222 is happening right now. And then when you put 222 together, this also speaks to us of 6. And 6, because I've been told to watch how cryptic I get. I might lose you. I've been told to also remind us, though, that the 222 also will equal 6, which speaks to us of a halfway point. Wednesday is when the solar eclipse hits, halfway through the week. It speaks to us of a halfway point. 3 and 3 equals 6. Okay? Completely. It also speaks to us of earthly matters in general. Now, like I said, so much energy is coming in, and it can be such a positive energy. But again, Pan stands back there and says, I'm going to give you exactly what you're looking for. Jesus is trying to help you find your way through it, about finding your way through the fact that the crucifixion energy is there. The mocking energy is there. The thorns is there. But so is the resurrection. It's there. So is the humbleness within yourself. It's there. Which side will you choose? Free will, like I said right from the beginning, is a bitch. She's a glorious bitch. But it's your choice to make those free will choices. Now, also, I'm being reminded because Spirit literally just kind of like grabs my head and turns it. And this is going to bring us back to Athena as well. Because, like I said, Spirit just grabs my head and turns it. And what they're talking about is the drama, the mocking, the lower energies this week that will be happening. Because that has to do with bringing up what has to be changed within those 2 energies so that the balance and the growth can take place. But I'm being told it's not to sell out and look away. But if it's not your drama, not your circus, not your monkeys, not your circus, not your drama, not your problem, turn away. And the reason it's not selling out, it's not turning away. But the point is if you are not fully willing to stand in who and what it is that you're getting into that drama for without being unstoppable, without being unmovable, don't waste your time in it. Because if it's important enough that you can be unstoppable, unmovable, be the bull, which is where Athena is right now in astrology, which is Palace. If you are in that area right now and you're able to take a stand for whatever that drama is about and hold your ground, by all means do so. That would be coming into your power. But if you're not, if it's not that important to you, if it's not that powerful, don't put yourself in the energy of that drama. And that would be why they're turning my head. If it depends on what is important to you. And that's, again, your free will choices of what it is that speaks to your soul. Is it important enough to ignite you in that energy? Now, I'm also given Resh in Hebrew. And that also speaks to the crown, the thorn crown of Jesus. Because they're saying Resh speaks to us of exactly where it is. You always hear me talking about, God, lightning. This is where the lightning has started to be created, basically. And they're bringing Resh forward from the Hebrew alphabet. And they remind us, Resh speaks to us of beginning, the head. It speaks to us of Jesus' head and the crown, the thorn of crown that is on his head. But they also remind us the beginning in the alphabet of Hebrew has 4 beginnings. So this is speaking to us more of the middle point of the beginning. Again, the middle of the week. Resh also speaks to us of the art of clarification. Speaking this week of seeing the art of clarification, which will go with Dagaz, the ruin. It speaks to us of the halfway point, again, of the alphabet, as well as middle. Resh also is the 20th, 222s, is the 20th letter within the alphabet of Hebrew. It also speaks to us in the Torah and in the Bible and so forth under the number of 200. So there's your twos. It speaks to us of the unconscious beginning. The unconscious beginning. The mind bent over in order to express its speech. There we go again with the thorn cross on Jesus' head as he's in the crucifixion itself. It speaks to us of the beginning itself of wisdom, and there is your lightning, the very beginning of the wisdom, and starting to go with it. Because in order to start with the beginning of wisdom, we must first shock the fear out of the ego. We must first learn from that wisdom that has the shocking of the fear itself out of the ego. Nothing of nothing. You take two nothings together and you still have something. We are speaking of the mirror effect, seeing the truth, the real truth that we don't want to see. You take two nothings and you create something. Well, you take one something and you create one something, such as a mirror. And you see one side, you know another side, and you start to see the truth from the in-between. This is what we are talking about. Resh has a lot more to talk about, a lot more deeper understanding, but I don't have time with the video. So I have to stop there. Now, as far as the animal wisdom goes, because I still have Ra to come back to, the Egyptian god Ra. But as far as the animal, I'm being given the white animals. And I was saying earlier this week that the white stag stands forward. And Mother Earth, Gaia, and the Tree of Life are giving me the white stag, about following the white stag. But it's also showing me, just like in last week where Pan pulled pulled the stag out from the cards from my Druid Oracle deck, it was showing it from the backside where it's showing the white tail and telling us to follow into the other world. It's always there for us. It's up to us to choose if we're going into that spiritual connection, the magical world. That is up to us. Do we believe in it? Do we know it? Do we feel it? Do we trust it? And we are being shown the white stag. But the stag also reminds us of the deer, which speaks to us of being gentle. It speaks to us of you can only nudge someone in the right direction. You cannot make them go in the right direction. It speaks to us of all of the animal medicine that comes from the deer. But then you move it into the white stag of that authority, that power, and the big horns, which is going into the connection with Mother Earth itself. And I'm also being shown the lion. Now, I'm reminded that the white animals also speak to us of the prophets of change, basically. But the white lion, I'm being shown, which talks to us of courage and strength. But the white lion is not out. He's kind of like ducked back in the corner. He's watching. He's observing. And this would be the stillness also that goes with the runes right now of Isa. He's there plain as day, but it would be like as if there was a wall here, like in a road, like a building, so to speak, is the way I'm being seen it. And like he's stepped into the corner. So unless you walk past him, you won't know that he's there observing. But he's observing. He's there. The white lion is definitely there right now. He's just observing and not necessarily showing his power just yet. But I feel that it's coming. And I am being given Athena from the Parthenon because I'm being shown the Parthenon. She just shows me the Parthenon over and over and over again in Greece. And Athena is the warrior goddess. Again, she's in Taurus in astrology right now. She is the warrior goddess known for strategic thinking. Okay, she's speaking to us of that strategic thinking, but she shows me the Parthenon over and over and over again, and I'm not fully in understanding why, but I know the Parthenon speaks to us of the virgin goddess is what the Parthenon was. The only ones really inside was the virgins. Was a lot inside of the Parthenon originally. Everybody else got to see it from the outside unless they were just went in to worship Athena. But what I'm being shown isn't necessarily the idea of the virgin goddess temple, but I'm hearing the treasure in back, or the treasury. So the treasure, it's hidden, is what she's pointing out, because she just keeps showing me it, and I just like hear the treasury or the treasure, but that it's hidden in back, that it's there. It's just you're not necessarily seeing it, or you're not meant to see it, or at least as far as the Parthenon went, it's a hint for you. And lastly, I will end with the Egyptian god known as Ra. And it's actually supposed to be pronounced as Ray. I've been talking to Ra since I was like 8 years old. He first off shows me the Uraeus, which is on many of the Egyptian pharaohs and the Egyptian gods. That would be the cobra that is in their symbol, in their headdress. It is the cobra that goes with them, and the cobra is rearing up. It is rising up for the strike, basically, the protective energy. And the cobra itself and the animal spirit world has been visiting me as well. So this, because in my shamanic energy, when I do healing, the cobra is what comes for the healing. However, I'm being showed by Ra or Ray, the Uraeus, which is like I said, it's the cobra itself, but in that rising up pose before it strikes. Basically, it's that protective warning energy. And Ra points that out to me right now, along with the staff that he carries. He points that out to me at this time. But he's the sun god. He is the sky god. He is the light. He also shows me the eye of Ra right now. He is he is in charge of the dead and the resurrection cycle as well. He reminds us he's not just the god of the day, but he also goes into the underworld at night and is rebirthed for that resurrection cycle, was viewed as being rebirthed every day. So I love you, and I hope that you have a wonderful week, but use your words and use yourself wisely. Have a wonderful week. Bye. Check back for the astrology, and I'll try to make them all connect. Bye.